Hello, sports fans. This is Qunito Henson.
And I'm Dyan Castillejo. Get ready to uncover the future of Philippine sports.
And let's navigate and break down this game.
And kick it back with our inspiring athletes.
We've got a very exciting episode lined up for you because we've got no other than someone who just made history, the newly crowned WBC Bantamweight Champion Nonito, the Filipino Flash, Donaire. Here, we cheer for our athletes and stay close to the action.
This is your one-stop shop for the latest on the greatest in sports. We are here to
play it right.
We are honored to have with us here on Play It Right, the newest 118 World Bantamweight Champion. He won his first world title 14 years ago. He's world champion again. I'm sure you're still all talking about his phenomenal win. Let's all welcome Nonito, the Filipino Flash, Donaire. Hey, Nonito.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's always fun.
So you said that, you're back. Your speed is back and the king has returned. Congratulations. How have you celebrated and where are you now?
I'm back home in Las Vegas right now. We had dinners with our friends and just celebrating the moment and the victory. So this few days has been a very high for me.
For sure. How many times have you watched the fight? And can you talk us through again the 3 knockdowns that led to your win?
I've seen a glimpse of the fights here and there. And then I've seen the fight about, I can't even count, But going back into the fight, the first knockdown, I came into understanding his distance in that 3rd round and understanding his pattern. I tried to land an uppercut, but he stood up still. So the uppercut was very difficult to land because he was standing up higher than what I thought he would do. And so it actually opened up my left hook, which was what I was trying to allow him to forget in the early rounds. So when I decided to release the left hook, that's when it landed well and hurt him. Actually, the first time it really hurt him, and then the second one we both threw a punch while the bell was ringing, but my punches landed, or my left hook landed, and that's when he was very out of it. And then of course the 4th round is when I came to finish him.
Well, Nonito, you sacrificed by taking a shot in order to give back. Would you do the same strategy against power hitters like Inoue and maybe a Casimero?
Well, it was a plan that I had to go in there to really understand. Even though he still have a decent power, even though with that I still had my hand up, but I was setting up for the punch, and I would definitely do the same thing. I mean, I did it for Montiel. I did some of it for Inoue, and I believe I can do it for any hard hitter out there. It's just as long as I can set up a good punch, set up where I can have all the velocity and all the leverage for the punch.
Nonito, your boxing journey has taken you all over the world, and I just want to remind you some of the places that you've been to, and I'm sure you remember them very, very well. You fought in Guam. You fought in Japan, Northern Ireland. You fought in Scotland, Puerto Rico, Macau, Manila, and all over the US. But all the times that you've fought, you've always been proud to say that you're Filipino. What does that mean to you when you're called the Filipino Flash?
and I've always been very proud of who I am. I've always just been, my blood, dugo Filipino. Eh. So for me, everything that I am, I've always represented in ways that, that to show the world. I was born there, I was raised there, my parents are from there, and my culture and everything that I learned, it was through the means of the culture, of the Filipino culture. So for me, I mean, I speak the language Bisaya and in Tagalog as well. So I'm very proud of that, and I'll always be proud of it. And I introduce it to my kids. This is who I am. This is who I will always be, and I'm always proud of whatever it is. For me, I'm proud of being Filipino.
Nonito, when you entered the fight, this last one, you were wearing a Stop Asian Hate shirt, and then even after the fight, you continue to talk about it. Can you tell us what this means to you?
It means a lot to me because they're targeting the elderly, and they're targeting the kids, the people that can't protect themselves, and it just gives a huge bad taste in my mouth, because it's horrible. I mean, hate in itself is very horrible to us, to everyone, and I think that we can get together and stand strong and protect each other, and I'm very big on that. I mean, again, my dad feels uncomfortable going outside because he has two daughters, and they're targeting the elderly and the ones that they can't protect themselves. So he's very cautious about being outside or going outside. So for me, it hurts me because they can't be normal, and the hate in itself is horrible. It's a horrible energy to put out there.
Yeah. Nonito, going back to the fight, did you ever doubt yourself, and at any point, what was going through your mind during the preparation? And do you ever feel any fear on the ring? You certainly don't look it, but do have fear ever come to you?
I think it's stages in boxing. That day I was very nervous every single time to go inside the ring. And then of course with the experience and the capability that I have, and just the mental mindset, just the mindset that I have, that mental health, of just very positive. I just go in there and I just have faith in myself, faith in my belief, and faith in my training. I just, like, for this fight, I felt so comfortable. I felt so good. I felt amazing. And because it shows in training, it shows in our sparring. So for me, I was very confident, and I just felt that nothing could beat me. I just felt that I was unstoppable.
Well, Donito, after referee Jack Reese waved it off, you went over to Ubali. You knelt down, you had your hands to your sides, and I think I saw you put your hands together as if in prayer. What motivated you to go over to Ubali, kneel down, say a prayer, and what did you tell him after he suffered that devastating loss?
Well, me and Obali have our we're friends. We have our own connection. The Me trying to help him and all that stuff, before in the past, and it doesn't really matter who it is. If I see an opponent go down and being hurt, I mean, the fight is over. I don't have any more animosity or grudges. For me, I just want everyone to be safe. I want everyone to be healthy and be out of that ring, comfortably. And so for me, I just prayed, a little prayer that that he's safe, and that he nothing permanent is damaged. And of course, for me as well, I was grateful and thankful and say thank you for our health.
What did you tell him, and what did he tell you in return?
When I just told him, he was kind of out of it at that time, but he still was trying to answer what I was saying. But I just pretty much tell him that, this is not the end. If you allow it to be, then it is. You're a great fighter, and I got the biggest respect for you. You did an amazing job, you know, and that was just it. I was just comforting him that, you know, he can make things happen still. So don't let it end unless it's something that you decide to do.
Nonito, everybody knows, the whole world knows about your heart, your fighting heart. But there's a person who owns that heart. And you've had a lovey-dovey relationship with Rachel, your wife, for years. Can you tell us, when was the last time that Rachel got mad at you? And when was the last time that you got mad at Rachel? Come on, tell us the truth.
Well, you know, we have a very normal relationship. You know, there's a lot of, sometimes there's going to be an argument here and there. I don't remember the exact date, but I mean, there's some in recent that we, you know, but it's just a little argument about something. You know, like she wanted to party, and I'm not a party kind of guy. You know, I love partying here and there, but if I had the option, I would probably go home and just hang out, you know, or yeah, just be at home. I'm a very a homebody, and because Rachel hasn't really gone out because she was in the bubble with me throughout the whole camp. You know, she wanted to stay longer with her friends, and I was like, we gotta go now. We gotta go. It's been 8 hours. We've been here. Let's just go. And then she wanted to stay. You know, and stuff like that. There's little argument here and there, you know, and she's very feisty. She's very feisty, and she will get what she wants ultimately at the end, you know. I'll fight here and there, I'll fight, and then I'll be like, oh no, you're not gonna have what you want. I'm gonna make the decision. I put my foot down, and we're done. And then next thing you know, I'm like, okay, you're right. We'll just hang out for a little bit, you know, stuff like that. And you know, I mean, there's times that we have an argument here and there. I mean, just normal couple, but ultimately we do have an amazing relationship where we do have trust and respect. I think that's the biggest thing for us. We're really good friends. We're best friends, but we have respect for each other, you know, and that's just ultimately it. I mean. You know, but when it really comes down to it, the secret to it is just, yes, dear, you're right.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Nonito, you, for this fight, Rachel was your head trainer, your coach, right? She planned your whole training program. Can you tell us how does it work, the dynamics of having your wife on the corner, the lead trainer? She's your wife, she's the mom. She, you know, I mean, do you guys separate roles? Like, okay, now you're my coach, you know, like that? Or how does it work?
Whoever is at a disadvantage, we try to catch each other, you know. So like when I'm training and I can't wake up in the morning because I need to spar, she's taking care of the kids in the morning, you know, and she's done an amazing job with the kids because my eldest actually from second grade he went up to the third grade, and then when he was at the third grade he was the highest score. I mean, straight A student. Now he's in the fourth grade. Everybody's like 3 years older than him. So you know, but that was due to her. And then of course for me, if she's doing a lot of stuff with the kids, I just kind of catch and clean the house or clean do the dishes here and there, do the laundry. So we just try to learn to catch each other. I think that's the biggest thing for me. And then when we're at the gym, she does all of it. I always ask her to push me. And when it comes down to training or strategy, we have a greater conversation when it comes down, and we converse throughout the day, you know, throughout the week. And I think that's the biggest advantage for me, is because I stay focused because I know this voice. I know this trick. I know this this line of conversation. So I go back into that, you know, not like any other coach where we only talk about it in the gym. You know, for me, we talk about it every time before we go to sleep. We have a conversation. Sometimes I have an idea or she has an idea. We'll pull up the fight and we'll look at some scene or sometimes in you know, in the rounds, and we'll have a conversation about it. You know, and I think that's why, even though I want to fight, my old habit of wanting to go on a war with Ubali, every time that she would yell to be, you know, to move my head or to stay low, it reminded me that we have a game plan. And I think that's this is why I'm fighting at my best, because now I'm more focused.
Amazing. That sounds so much activity, 24/7.
Yeah.
Nonito, tell us about the award that Rachel is receiving in Mexico.
And I am so proud of her. She's always been in the corner with me, but she never really was comfortable taking the lead role. And so this time, we made it happen. That in the corner, there's only one person to talk, and that was her. And I think in some rounds, I had to say that to one of my guys to quiet down and let Rach talk. But I'm so proud of her to have the very first person in boxing history, a woman, a head trainer, having a world champion and winning in that world title fight. So that's incredible, an incredible feat no one has ever done. And of course, the first woman in the WBC to have a belt in the corner, a head trainer belt. So she's making history and making history. I mean, it's just been a blessing, a real blessing through all of this.
I understand that you and Rachel had a very different approach to your fitness for this upcoming fight. And you said you felt the strongest you ever have. You said you felt stronger than when you fought Inoue, right? Tell us about this unique nutrition program and schedule that you keep when you're training.
But for me, it's pretty simple. I'm always just been, this is why I can perform the way that I do. But because mainly the question for that is, because of what I'm doing to my body. I'm eating healthy. I'm training every time that I get chances. It became part of my lifestyle. But the biggest component of reversing my age or that feeling in my body was fasting. For times I would do every month I would do a 7-day water fast, just water to get my digestive system time to heal, time to recover, and time off of just digesting. But during training camp, I'd do about 4 days in training. So I would spar Monday. That would be my first day because I still have a lot of energy from the Sunday's feast or dinner. And then Monday it would be my first day, but I'll spar and I'll no food, no eating. And then Tuesday the same. Tuesday, Wednesday, I'll train, and then Thursday I'll take off, and then at night I'll eat, and Friday I'll spar. So it's like that every week for me in the training camp, and this is why I have no problem with the weight at all. But I feel good. Sometimes sometimes I have to stop fasting because I'm cutting so much weight. This is why I can go down to 115 if I want to. So,
wait, guys, I just want to rewind what you said because it sounds too unbelievable to be true. You eat your last meal on Sunday evening dinner.
Yes.
Okay, and then you spar on Monday, full day, and you just have water.
Just water, fasting, nothing else, no food. Sometimes I'll have coffee, but nothing solid. Nothing here, nothing there. Just maybe coffee and most of all, it's just water. And I have to double my water because when you are fasting, you're actually dehydrating yourself because you don't have anything to hold. Nothing's holding on to your water. So you have to, you have to drink twice as much if you're fasting.
So nothing, water and coffee on Monday. Same thing on Tuesday and you're still training.
Yes.
Same thing on Wednesday and you're still doing training. And you actually eat on Thursday
night.
Oh, so that's like 4 days of the week. Yes, you're not eating.
Yeah, every week. And sometimes I have to stop the fasting because I'm losing too much weight.
How many weeks did you do that for?
When I started I would say nearly 2 months.
2 months. Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So the kind of water you were drinking is just ordinary water? Is it?
Yeah, it's ordinary water. I mean, bottled water for me, yeah, just ordinary water. Sometimes I'll add electrolyte salt in there. But that's it. There's no carbs, no protein, nothing like that.
Let's talk about this upcoming fight, Errol Spence versus Manny Pacquiao. in many ways, Spence is like a mirror image of Obali, although he's taller. Olympic style, he likes to pump his jab straight combinations, very active, he's straightforward, but if you turn him around, he's lost. His defense goes, he's not throwing punches when you turn him around. What do you think would happen? Would Spence go the way of Ubali when Ubali fought you? When Spence fights Pacquiao? Is he going to go to sleep like Ubali did when Ubali fought you? What do you think?
It's a difficult assessment because they're both southpaw. With me and Ubali, it was easy to go around Ubali because we were opposite. If you have two southpaws, it's very difficult to go around another person. But I believe that Manny has the biggest chance because still has a big chance of winning because of his power, his experience, and his lateral movement. And again, it's just it's not so much as going around Spence because of their similar stance, but it's more of squaring Spence up, by moving lateral movement. And I think that Manny has the biggest Manny has a huge chance to land the combination if he squares him up. But like you said, Ubali and Spence do have that coming from amateur kind of ish style where they're very textbook, and I like fighting textbook because they're very easy to read. But Manny Pacquiao is a very difficult person to read, so I think that Spence is going to be going to have trouble figuring out how Manny fights. But again, I think the one thing that we have not really seen with Manny is fighting a southpaw who has that amateur style. So we'll see how that works for him, and we'll see how Spence go about all of that. But I do believe in Manny's ability to change, to figure things out because of his experience.
Throughout your boxing career, Nonito, you've raised boxing to a level of respectability, of prestige, of sportsmanship by your being a gentleman fighter. Where did this come from, this spirit of yours? Did it come from an upbringing? Did it come from something inside you?
All of that. It came from inside me. I think that my ancestor has been very honorable. Of course, it comes from my dad as well, who's always taught me the value of integrity and loyalty. I've always been told, I've always just been felt that way, to respect and respect the elderly. But part of me, I think it's part of my DNA to just look at life in that way. And growing up watching the fights in the past, even from Hagler, Hearns, and Leonard, and Duran. I mean, you see the way of fighting, and I guess we call it the old school mentality. We just respect to, and of course for me, I'm so grateful because everything that I have and everything that I am was because of boxing. So I always present and give back to boxing in ways that I can, and that is sportsmanship. Looking at the boxing world with respect, and for people to respect boxing, and it doesn't matter who you are, as long as I know how difficult it is to be inside the ring. The sacrifice from when I was 11 years old, my dad would wake me up early in the morning to run 6 o'clock up the hill. 6 miles up the hills. He'll wake me up at 4 o'clock in the morning before school every day. I would run 6 miles up the hills and back. I had to sacrifice. I didn't get to hang out with my friends, and I know exactly what I gave for it. But at the same time, this is why I give so much respect to fighters, because we know what we go through. But at the same time, for me, boxing has been so kind to me, and therefore I want to give back as much as I can.
Well, thank you very much, Nonito, for your time. Before we let you go, I just want to be able to say that a few hours ago, I got a call from former Congressman Raul Daza, whose son Paul Daza co-authored the resolution in the House of Representatives. Last Monday, Speaker Velasco, Paul Daza, and the head of the Committee on Sports, Congressman D, put together a resolution commending you for your victory. And in record time, this resolution was passed the next day on third reading. Never happened before. And I heard this is the first time that something like this has happened. A resolution was filed on a Monday, and it was approved on third reading on a Tuesday. And they're asking that when you come to visit the Philippines, the speaker would like to award this resolution to you in a framed copy and to show you how proud the country is and how proud all of us are for your magnificent victory and for being who you are, the Filipino Flash, someone whom we're all very proud of. Thank you very much, Nonito Donaire Jr., WBC Bantamweight Champion. Yes.
Congrats, Nonito. Proud of you.
So grateful for and I'm very, very honored. You know, again, I love who I am as a person, as a Filipino fighter. You know, as a Filipino, I take pride in who I am, and I'm so grateful for the honor as well. I would like to reach out to them and give honor to the very first female in the history of boxing to have an award. You know, the first female boxer, a female coach to have a world champion. You know, I think that I want to fight, that I want to reach out to and get her as well, because I'm so proud of her as much as I am proud and honored of all the things that I've achieved and what they have given me in the resolution. It's amazing. But I think there's one person that they forgot to honor, and that is Rachel, who, oh man, just a phenomenal thing that she's done over, to, you know, and helping me create this new style. But mainly, you can't let go of the fact that she is the only in the history of boxing, a female coach, a head coach, to have a world champion. So, you know, that's something that we have to celebrate as well. But I'm so grateful. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Nonito. Congrats.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, sports fans, for joining us in this episode. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.
Join us and be part of the game. And remember, stay in touch with our social media accounts on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and don't forget to like and subscribe us, Play It Right TV, on YouTube. This is Qunito.
And I'm Dyan, and we are here to
Play It Right.